Okay, I'm out here on our production line. I got one of our Gel 3 steamers. We're actually just getting ready to, we just got them tested, so we're getting ready to box it, okay? So I'm going to show everybody how we blow these machines down at the end of the day when you're done using them. We recommend you do this at least once a week. The problem with it is, with the steamer, is you put water into it and it'll evaporate all the water out, and any particulate that's left in that water is going to stay inside this machine. Eventually it builds up in the bottom of the tank. It can plug up your sight glass fixtures, it can mess up your element, result in really depreciated performance of this machine here. So one thing we recommend people to do is when you install them, hard pipe the machine into a drain, okay? What that allows you to do is it allows you to drain the hot water out of it and do a proper blowdown. If you don't have this into a drain, I really don't recommend you do this because there's going to be steam coming out of that drain plug there. So have the machine hard piped into a drain, okay? And what you're going to want to do is, like I said, this one here was just being used. It's at about 55 psi there. You can see it's heating right now. It's got half a tank of water in it. First thing we're going to do is we're going to turn the thermostat all the way down so the machine's no longer heating. And we're going to start venting the pressure out of it, okay? Now, one way you can vent the pressure is you can come up here and you can open the vent. And just let it do that until it runs out of water, but you can see it makes a mess of the steamer here. That can lead to potential corrosion in the future, so we don't recommend that. What we would say you should do is run the accessory. So here I have the foot pedal here. Basically, you're going to want to run your accessory until your pressure gets down to 5 psi. Okay, do not run it all the way down to 0, just run it down to 5 psi. So now I'm going to go ahead and do that. Okay, and now we're back here. I didn't want to record that, draining it all the way down to 5 psi. That would have been pretty boring, but we're sitting here, the machine is still on, right? Just the thermostat's been off, which lets us run our nozzle. You can see it's got just a little bit of pressure on it now at this point. Now, what's critical about this now, you can see there's still water in the sight glass, okay? There's still water in the sight glass. That water is still hot. It's still got a little bit of pressure. So when we open our drain valve, like I said before, only do this if you have it hard plumbed in, okay? If that's, you don't want to be letting steam out into the environment doing this, you know, the potential to get burned there. So only if you have a real solid hard plumb drain valve in here. We can go ahead and do this now. We can do the blowdown. And what this is going to do, it's going to do two things. For one, that residual pressure in there and that hot water is going to take all the contaminants out of this and take it down the drain. And the other thing is, since this water is still boiling, right? It's barely boiling. It's still boiling though. It's going to take all that steam vapor. It's going to leave the boiler, leaving it almost completely dry on the inside, okay? With no air. Okay, what actually forms rust in these things? It's a combination of moisture and air. Okay, so by doing this blowdown correctly, we're not leaving any air inside of the steamer, okay? So I can go ahead and I can shut it off now. I'm going to turn my thermostat knob back up so I don't forget to do it later. I'm going to come over here and I'm just going to open the drain, okay? Open this very slowly and you'll hear the water start coming out. And you can open that all the way up. You can see I'm still at 5 psi. And you can watch the water level come down. Once this water level gets all the way down, you'll actually be able to hear the steam start hissing, okay? So the steam is all the way down in the sight glass. Like I said, at this point there shouldn't be much water left in the tank. Our pressure gauge should start to drop now as the little bit of steam that's left in there is being evacuated. There, you can hear it starting to change, it's starting to gurgle. There, and you can see our pressure gauge is finally dropping. There we go. We're down to 0. So at that point there, the machine is now empty. All that steam has been evacuated from it, so there should be no moisture in there. We're going to go ahead and close our drain valve, okay? And this is exactly how you're going to want to store the steamer, okay? You don't want to leave this thing open to the air because, as I mentioned, iron oxide and rust, it forms from 2 things. It needs iron, it needs water, it needs air, okay? So we have our vent valve closed, we have our fill valve closed, and we have our drain valve closed, okay? Now, what's probably going to happen now is when this machine cools off, it's going to create a vacuum inside the tank, okay? So when we go to fill it, just be very mindful when you open this fill valve that first time. It's likely you're going to hear air suck into it, okay? But that's perfectly normal, okay? And that is the proper way to blow down and store your Hoffman 2-gallon steamer here when you're not using it. We recommend you do this once a week.